Hi there, so today's video will be my end of September updates. So the first thing I'm going to start off with is my new fertilizer regime. So my pH and TDS meter finally arrived and I was able to measure the values that my water has. The water coming out of my tap has a TDS reading of 21 ppm, so we have very soft water, and has a pH of 7.8. When I add fertilizer to the water at a rate of 1/4 teaspoon per gallon, has a TDS reading of 342 ppm and a pH of 6.9. And as you can tell by the chart, which is what I'm referencing, and I got this chart from Rick's video, you can see it's not really getting many nutrients, so I can see why I'm not getting the results that I really want. I was actually quite surprised the reading was so high, because it was the recommended dosage. That doesn't matter now because I'm using the TDS and pH meters to handle my fertilization, but yeah, very surprising. So if you don't have a TDS meter and you don't have a pH meter, you should get one. I think it's very helpful. So what I've done so far is I've fertilized my Vandaceous orchids twice, once at 5.9 and once at 5.7. For my potted orchids, or the ones in baskets, I haven't fertilized them yet. I remember in one of Rick's videos, he mentioned that if you've been fertilizing using tap water or rainwater without changing the pH, there's a possibility that there's still fertilizer within the media. So what I'm doing is I'm watering them at 5.9 and 5.7, although I think I've only just done 5.7, so I have to do 5.9 next. And then I'll do a flush with regular tap water, and then I can continue with the fertilization. So I'm going to be fertilizing at about 100 to 125 ppm, and that's based on Rick again, because I know he has good results, and I need a baseline to start, so I'm going to start with that first, and if I need more, I'll either make it higher or I'll do it more frequently, but I think that's a good baseline to start. So the next thing I'm going to talk about is my new acquisitions. I'll talk about this one first. I purchased it from Piping Rock Orchids. They're based in the United States, and I was able to purchase it because Glenn came to our society meeting, and he had plans to sell, so we were able to pre-order. I'm not sure how to pronounce this. I think it's Chelonistele shulphurea. I often don't know if the CH makes a ch sound or a k sound. But anyway, this is a fairly, well, it's not small. The pseudobulbs are small, but the leaves are quite long. And from what I've read, it's pretty easy to grow. The flowers are small and yellowish and fragrant as well. Apparently this is related to Coleogenes, so it's a genus I've never had before, so it'll be new for me. I'm very excited to have this one. I should also point out this plant has 2 new growths there, and I think there's another one starting here and there. So yeah, this seems like a very healthy plant, so I'm very happy with my purchase. So the next one I want to talk about is Bulbophyllum Memoria Richard Mizuta. I actually won this at a raffle at the last meeting. So I bought 3 tickets and I won 2, which is very lucky. And to be honest, I feel like I should have just bought 1 ticket because I have no more room. But anyway, I won this, and yeah, there's only 2 pseudobulbs, so we'll see how that goes. Okay, so the next one is Bulbophyllum Princess Bajaratana. I won this one also from the raffle. It's a pretty decent sized plant, and there is a new growth on right here, so that's nice. One thing I noticed is, so I did some Googling on this cross, because I wanted to see the culture notes, I guess, for the parents, and I noticed that this cross, it's not supposed to be by lobii, it's supposed to be by Kleptonense. I think that's how you pronounce it. So I don't know if this is actually Princess Bajaratana, or if it's supposed to be that cross as labeled there. I think probably the Grex is incorrect, and they just put lobii by mistake. Okay, so now I'm going to go through all my plants. Just FYI, if you see the lighting changes, it's because I'm filming throughout the day, trying to find a quiet time where I'm alone so I can talk to the camera. Okay, so the first one will be my Gngora Giba. I've repotted it in rock wool and leca, and it has a new growth, as you can see. I actually noticed yesterday that it has another new growth at the bottom, right there. So in total I have 2 new growths on the Gongora. Another thing you're going to notice is my NOID Phalaenopsis is now upside down. And the reason I did that was because the whole reason I wanted to mount phals or put them in the basket was to have them kind of sideways. So the first reason is I want it to be more jungle-like, because in nature they grow on the sides of trees, hanging sideways. Previously this was upright. And the second reason is it'll help prevent getting water in the crown, so I can be more free when I'm watering it and I don't have to worry too much. Yeah, so that's why it's upside down now. And as you can see, it has a new leaf coming, so that's great. The previous leaf wasn't that big, so I'm really hoping this one will be a lot better. So this is my Stanhopea gibbosa. It also has been repotted into rock wool, and you can see there just starting a new growth. It hasn't really been doing that great for me this year, but I'm hoping that this change in media will help. So this is my Bulbophyllum harbrotinum. I've repotted it into I think it's called feather rock pot, and it's also in rock wool. As you can see here, it has some damage from my cats. It's a bit of a problem I'm having right now with a lot of my plants, so I'm trying to avoid that, but it's pretty much unavoidable at the moment, unless I completely change my setup. This is my Masdevallia infracta. I purchased this in August, but it's not doing that well. You can't see because I've removed them, but I had a few yellowing leaves, and you can see there that new growth is also starting to turn yellow, so might be a nutrition issue. I don't see any new growths coming, so I'm a little bit concerned about this one. This is my Dendrobium Super Ice. I've kind of decided I don't care too much about it, so it's kind of my sacrificial lamb for my cats. I'm kind of using it to block the other plants that I want to keep. So it's been chewed on a lot. So probably not going to do much updates on this anymore, because I've decided that I don't care if it dies. So this is my Dendrobium scabrilingue. Not much going on other than chew damage. My Leptodes bicolor has a new growth. The new fan on my Pedangus dactyloceros is getting a lot bigger. So this is my Vanda testacea. This update is very disappointing. What happened was, right here, it started growing a new root tip. The next day I saw a really tiny slug eating it, and I have no idea where that slug came from, so obviously I had to get rid of it, but it kind of disrupted the root growth on this orchid. I'm hoping it'll push out another one soon because it's not very big, so I'd like to see more root growth, but that's the update on this guy. This is another sacrificial lamb, I guess you could say. It's my Sarcochilus hartmannii. I'm not too worried about this one because I do have another one in a bonsai pot that's a lot bigger. This actually came from that when I was cleaning it up, so I don't really care if this dies since I have another one. So you won't be seeing me doing updates on this one, but you'll see me doing updates on the other one. So this is my Dendrobium cariniferum. It has this is the newest pseudobulb, I should say. And although it's not very big, it's very healthy, and it's starting to grow a new leaf right there in the middle, so I'm very happy with the way this is going. And I noticed that I think there's another available eye there, so I will be getting another new growth Maybe not soon, but sometime in the future right there. So I'm very happy about that. My sea of Kingia fimbriata has also been repotted in rockwool and leca, and there is a new growth. This is my Phalaenopsis amboinensis. I've repotted it in rockwool and leca. It's not doing that great. It did lose a leaf, and another leaf is yellowing. You can see the outer edges of these leaves are starting to yellow as well, so I think it needs more food. This is my Phalaenopsis fimbriata, also repotted in rockwool and leca. This is my Coryanthe speciosa, also repotted in rockwool and leca. No new growths on it, it's just continuing with the other two that it has. This is my Sophronitis cernua, and it has a new growth. And this is my Arangus punctata, and as you can see, the flower bud is maturing. I think earlier this week it was like in a spiral, but it's elongating now, which is pretty awesome. My Paphinia rugosa has what I thought was a new growth, but I think it's actually a spike because it's pointing downwards. If it is a new growth, I'm going to be really annoyed because I don't want it to be pointing, I don't want the new growth to be pointing downwards. My Coryanthes missaceae is doing pretty well. The new growth is maturing and it's pushing out some roots, and it also has a new eye available at the base of that growth there, so I'm expecting to see another new growth soon, I guess. So this is my Polycycnus barbata. Previously, I believe I said that was a new growth. It hasn't really fattened up at the bottom, so I'm wondering if it's actually going to be a spike. So this is my Phalaenopsis NOID, and the latest leaf has fully matured, and as you can compare with the previous leaf, it's definitely a lot fatter. I think it's almost as long, but I feel like this time around the plant is a lot healthier, so I think the leaf looks a lot better. This is my Rodriguezia lemanii, and it's growing a nice new root, and it looks great. So this is my Plectophora alata. I think when I first showed this to you guys, I had two separate growths, but one of them completely rotted, so I just have this one left. It's hard to tell if it's doing well or not. This leaf feels a little bit soft, although it's not floppy, although this guy is a bit firmer. I think it'll be fine, but haven't seen much progress with this right now, so I'm hoping it's going to get better. This is my Oncidium twinkle, and it has two flower spikes. This is my SLC World Vacation Shibuya Sunset, and it has this new growth. This is my Dendrobium antenatum cross. It took the most damage from my cats because it was on the windowsill, so it was easily accessible. Other than that, there's not much going on. It has a few new roots, but that's about it. This is my Ascocentrum pusillum. One of the leaves is a little bit dried up and purplish. I think it's because the light is too strong. It was directly under the T5, so I've moved it a little bit to the side to see if that was going to help. This is my Dendrobium cruentum, and as you can tell, all the growths it produced this year are completely shriveled. Well, not really at the base, but near the top. So yeah, it's not doing that great. Although I see, I think about 3 eyes coming out, so I think it's recovering. And I also see a few buds starting. I'm not sure if the buds are a good thing at this point, but there's some activity at least. This is my RLC little Toshi, and I really don't think a bud is going to be forming inside that sheath. This is my Rhynchorides Bangkok Sunset, and this is a new root tip. It may not seem like much, but it literally did nothing all year, so I'm actually quite happy that it's actually starting to grow roots again. And last but not least, the flowers on my Irides huletiana is starting to fade. And that's pretty much it for updates, not much else going on. Anyway, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.